In USA, unemployment benefit claim has risen more than ever in last 30 years. I mean, this is insane. Can you see this graph over here? Can you see that vertical line? It's so straight and going up and up every single day. Every single day, a lot of people are losing their job or are staying at home because of this COVID-19. In this video, I talked about the present situation and upcoming recession. There may be a recession right next to us. We actually may be still not feeling it, but we are still in there. So I'm going to tell you the 5 recession-proof method that you should take into account if you're living single, or if you have a family of 3 or 4. It's a must. You should actually prepare yourself to be a recession-proof. How you can do it? Let's start the video. According to Harvard Business School Online, 3 out of 2 people does not has anything, no sort of backup plan to prepare themselves for upcoming recession. This is what worries me a lot. Around the world, governments are actually trying to help people by creating large budget for COVID-19 aids. For example, US attorney has like $2 trillion budget to face these pandemic. Banks are still trying to cope with the situation by lowering their interest rate to encourage the borrowing and encourage the investment. But another side of these lower interest, it could be some unplanned investment that could trigger some sort of financial inflation, which is really bad for the economy at present. Now, in another sector, for example, the travel sector is in a biggest hit because nobody is traveling. For example, there are some countries who totally depend on the tourist industry, like Italy or Greece. They totally depend on their whole year income. Most of the income are coming from the upcoming tourists who ever come to visit their countries. So in Italy or in Greece or anywhere in the world, there are flights has been cancelled, no flights are flying. So this is really a situation when nobody has any answer how long it will take and how to deal with this, especially for those countries. And if you're one of the residents of those countries, and if your government is not prepared, and if you are not prepared by yourself, you should think about it twice and you should prepare yourself. In a matter of fact, there are some countries who are really well ahead about this sort of situation. For example, if you look at the Netherlands on this chart, they actually can cover the 67% of their population's unemployment benefit claim. But in contrast to them, France is also still in a good shape, Germany is still in a good shape. But look at this chart over here. If you're living in America or Italy like I am, we actually don't have much of luck. So we actually have to prepare ourselves by our methods how we can deal with this sort of situation instead of depending on third parties like government or banks. First step is cut unnecessary expenses. Yes, you are staying at home. You may be saying how I'm going to spend my money if I'm not going outside. But the staggering fact over here, most of the people are staying at home. They get bored. They order from online a lot of stuff. For example, online sale has gone up, especially for Amazon. They're actually in a hard time to dealing with all the deliveries they are getting orders. This is where I want you to be very careful. Having a emergency budget. Now, what you can do if you have a monthly income $1,000, you should have a emergency fund from where you're gonna transfer some money, and then what left from there you're gonna decide where you want to spend your money. The crucial part over here, only 27% of the population in USA has this emergency fund. The rest of the population never had an emergency fund and never thought about it. These are the people, if they lose the job, they claim for unemployment benefit. And if government couldn't give you the money, what are the possibilities that you can pass the recession? And if the pandemic lasts longer, what will happen to you and your family? This is really scares me. Most of the people go to the online and they buy bulk product because, for example, in e-commerce, they are actually trying to push people to buy more product by giving a little discount, but which is actually a veil in front of the real story. The real story is, if you need one toothpaste, don't order 5 toothpaste just because one is $1 and 5 is only $3, because you don't need that extra toothpaste, because how long are you going to use that 3 toothpaste? Just think about the situation at present. Do not buy unnecessary toilet paper. People are buying toilet paper like there is no tomorrow. So this sort of unnecessary spend, just spend on your basic needs and then try to increase the emergency fund, because money is a asset, a liquid asset that you can transform into any sort of thing. So you don't have to think about, but you cannot transform the toilet paper into anything. You cannot do a transaction with the toilet paper. I know everybody know it, so but just think about it. Keep an emergency fund and make it bigger every single day if you can, by cutting unnecessary expenses. That's tips number 1. Number 2, a lot of investors at the present maybe are looking for options, because you heard of it on YouTube that when recessions hit, there are so many opportunities of investing, buying new businesses. But if you don't have knowledge about the business you are going into, you didn't do any research before, this sort of investment, you may be borrowing money from the bank, because bank has the lower interest now, encouraging the investment. But be careful on that thing. Getting into the debt when you are in recession could actually ruin your whole life. Especially if you're in recession, you don't know about the market, what would be the result. So if you're going into any new business or investing anything, be careful, do your research, and then borrow the money and go into the investment. I encourage the investment in recession time, but very careful. If you don't understand anything, don't step in. Number 3, listen up. If you're still working from home, this is the perfect time to show some extra work. I mean, go a little extra mile to show your employer that you are not just an employee, but you are an asset to that company or the factory that you are working for. You have to actually prove in front of them that whenever the factory fall into difficulties or a company fall into difficulties, the first things they do, they reduce their cost by cutting unnecessary employees. So what they do, don't become an unnecessary employees by presenting in front of them that you are actually a asset and a value that will actually hold your job position in this crisis moment. So be prepared for facing that fact. Number 4, if for some reason that you think that your job could be on the firing line, this is the perfect moment. You are at home. There are lots of things you can learn from internet. There are lots of softwares like Udemy or some other teachable softwares from where you can gain some extra knowledge and skills and add these to your present jobs. So what you can do, you can actually work, maybe you are still working, maybe you're still working part-time instead of full-time. So what you can do, you can actually research some of the skills that you can acquire which supports your present jobs at the moment, and then add those to your resume. For some reason, if you lose this job in future, when you actually gonna apply for any job, even in this recession period, the person who has value, who can put up a lot of value in front of an employer, they actually get hired. So this is the situation. You should start learning some new skills and develop your resume so you do not fall or left behind. Number 5, which is my favorite, is always hustling for a side income. If your job is not paying you enough, and if your job was full-time, now because of the recession, everything shut down, they put yourself in part-time, and you cannot support the expense of your family by the part-time income, this is the perfect moment when you start looking for some side hustles. That could be dropshipping business. That's what I do. I support. If you don't know what dropshipping is, you buy the product from local supplier or from China. I support local supplier because now the delivery from China could be delayed. So from local supplier, and sell the same product to a customer. But you do not buy the product from your supplier until you get the order from your customer. Once you get the order from your customer, you pass that order to your supplier ship the product to the customer, and you keep the difference in between. You sell the product for $20, you buy the product from supplier $10, and supplier ship it to the customer, and you keep the $10 profit. This is in a nutshell the dropshipping. And another cool fact over here for the dropshipping is that you don't need upfront investment, and you can take a look, get some knowledge, get into my channel, subscribe, and get the tips, because I share only the tips what necessary for a new beginning dropshipper, and you can implement those tips and tricks to your business, and slowly you can grow the dropshipping business because you don't have any upfront cost. $100 to $200 is max you need. Trust me. And if you have a right person to guide you to, you will succeed. Now if you're already a dropshipper and you are actually looking for an answer that if that dropshipping from China is not working, then what should I do? There is a best video is coming in my next video, which I'm gonna discuss about some recession proof product that you should start selling or dropshipping at present situation. It backed by the data from the history. There are some products which are actually recession proof. These type of products people always need. So even if world is in collapse, people gonna have to need this product. I'm not talking about foods or something like this. You cannot sell groceries and everything by drop shipping, but I'm going to mention some cool products which is coming on my next video, and that's why I encourage you to subscribe and click the notification on so that you don't miss that video. And if you want to learn more about drop shipping and how to hustle and create some side hustle, stay to this channel, subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next video. And I want to give you a very best of luck. I want to tell everyone, be positive about the present situation. We will together pass the situation, and have a good day. See you in the next video.